So guys, before we get started, don't forget we do have that amazing discount code thanks to Tier 0 Games going on right now. And all you have to do is put in ZW Games 5 to get 5% discount on your total order at tier0games.com. The links will be in the description below.
What's up YouTube, this is Joe from Z4 Games and I'm bringing to you guys a tech video for Ignister. This is going to be like a simple tech video, but I just want to show you guys a lot of cards that you can play that, depending on your playstyle and your personal preferences and how much space you have in your deck where you play, it's just at locals, if you go to higher events, like literally any scenario, there's a lot of techs that you can play in Ignisters. I can bolster its power plays, its consistency, and just give it additional options for you to do, basically. So I'm going to show you some techs that I've come across, that I've personally seen, tried out myself, and overall, depending on which build as well, you can play some of these techs in there. So I think probably like one of the biggest ones to talk about is the Mathmech. I think the Mathmechs are a really good tech that you can play in the deck that just help bolster the plays and just give you additional plays to do. I always find that a deck just gets a lot better if you have different options to do, different end games that you have. It means that if one gets stopped, you have another to go with. Like, this is probably one of the biggest reasons why Orcus was so good. You can just add it to any deck, that if your deck just doesn't do what it naturally wants to do. So, like, for example, if I put Orcus in DDD, like if I can't end on my DDD play or my DDD board gets stopped, I can just go straight into the old Orcus play, which is just 2 monsters into a nightmare, and just go on just an end on an Orcus board and just recover that way. So I think that the Mathmechs can do something similar to Ignisters. I've teched some other Mathmechs in my own personal build, and that it does perform really nicely. It gives you those additional extenders, gives you that additional power that you need to punch over things. And also if you go further along with like the Nabla and the multiplication, you can just go into like a final Sigma and just go for a big OTK push that way, just massive damage. So I think the Mathmechs, if you have them, they're really cheap to pick up. The engine's very, very cheap, and you can just like play around with it and just see how your build goes. Additional extenders, like Cyberse has a lot of additional extenders. I think that depending on the build that you're playing, depending on how much space that you have, you can use these additional extenders as tech choices to just help build your boards and just help push your boards further. Things like Widget Kid is like an additional form of a Balancer Lord. Also things like Signet Optimization is another additional form of Balancer Lord that isn't just a flat once. Signet Optimization is a continuous spell which each turn you gain additional normal summon of a Cyberse monster, which is very, very powerful. And if you're playing the Code Talker build, it's searchable via the microcoder. And I think things like that is very, very good. Widget Kid, as I was just saying, is an additional form of a Balance Lord that on normal special you can special summon level 4 low Cyberse from your hand. So it's very, very powerful that way. Things like Backup Secretary is pretty much well known from early days of Salamangreats. People were taking this as a level 3 extender Cyberse, but you can play it in the Ignister as well to help trigger off cards like your Dark Templar and things like that. Yeah, it's a level 3, so you can't really go into like your level 4, your rank 4 play, but it is still a form of a trigger for your Templar, which sometimes that is all you need. And big things like Degrade Buster. I think Degrade Buster is a really cool tech if you're playing the Ritual engine, because if you have the Hyali can then search your Water Dragon and your Ritual spell, then you can special summon your Degrade Buster to a Templar zone, just banishing 2 Cyberse, trigger your Templar to make the rank 4 of the Synchro, and then you already have a full level 7 monster on play to then go into your Ritual summon. I think Degrade Buster is a lot better depending on the Ritual build, if you're taking in the Ritual engine, but overall it is a pretty powerful card because it is spot removal and it's just for a free banish. 2 free banishes from your graveyard to Cyberse, so you can get this big boy out. 2500, I believe. Yep, 2500 can remove a monster on the board. and just overall just punching for more damage for like bigger OTKs. Additional extender is one that I tried, is Cyber's Gadget. Very cool card. I really do like it. I think it is a bit underrated, even though I'm not playing it, but I did try it out and I did think it worked really well. If I wasn't just pushing my Ignister deck to go to like regionals and Euros and things like that, where I just want as most consistency as possible for the players I want to try and do, I would be taking in Cyber's Gadget in the more fun variant just for local play, just to get more fun additional players. But it is a nice tech overall. I'm not just saying it's good for fun. It can be good for competitive play as well, depending on your ratio and again your build. This is just something I want to point out to you guys. Let's get these a bit more center. It's not centered enough. Draw power. I've noticed a lot of people were asking about draw power and search power in their decks from my previous profiles, and I think things like Flame Buffalo is very, very good. Like, it's not just be good because I'm a great player, but it is a good normal summon. You can normal summon this, link it away to a link 1, draw 2, and depending on what you draw, you can keep going. If you just literally open up with like the Achichi and the field spell, you can then just keep going off from there because your Flame Buffalo just netted you those additional draws, dig into your deck to dig into more of those combo pieces. I think if you can't afford the mining still, but you got most of the Ignister stuff, just toss in some Flame Buffaloes, toss in the playset of Flame Buffaloes, and maybe some of this. I saw a deck profile playing at the Performer Power Purple Alpha. This card is being quite popular now, just because it is a +2 in terms of draw power. Like, you play this, you discard 3 to up to 3 to draw up to 3 on the amount that you discarded. Yeah, it does burn you, but if you're going for a hard go second, just OTK your opponent, you don't care about your life points, this is a pretty cool card to play, and something that I do recommend to you guys if you're playing it. Otherwise, on a budget, you just need to get more cards to fill in your deck and just get more consistency. I think cards like Flame Buffalo is a good card to play in your Ignister deck. And this tech is more catered towards the Code Talker variant, but it's something that I've seen a few Code Talker variants not playing it. Even I wasn't playing it, but after I just thought, hey, this could have been a good card. It's the Signet Codec. The Code Talkers does have a lot of good cards, and a lot of good support cards, and Signet Conflict is one of them. It's a counter trap that if you control Code Talker, you can negate a card effect and banish it. So it's a very good card, and it's something that is searchable off your microcoder. A lot of Cybers have good Signet cards, and I think just looking around through the Signet cards, you can find some pretty cool and interesting text that you can play in your Code Talker variant, mostly just because of the microcoder can search it. So things like the Conflict is something that I do recommend picking up if you are playing the Code Talker build. It's a really cool build. It's a build that I did enjoy playing, and it's a build that I would probably rebuild again after like MR5, just because I'm going to be playing a lot of DDD after MR5, so I can start fiddling around with my Ignister deck, trying out new builds, trying out new variants, and the Code Talker variant will be one that I will revisit at some point in a later date. Now, for two extra deck choices that text that I just want to talk about, is one of them is the Update Jammer. Update Jammer is a cool link 2. I feel like a lot of builds aren't playing enough link 2s, in the sense that they're only playing 1. I think if you're limiting your extra deck to link 3s, you're going to be finding a bit of a consistency. I think 2 link 2s is a very optimal number for the build. That's just a bit of advice I want to toss out to you guys there. And I think just to share 2 link 2 options that you can be playing, one of them is the Update Jammer. Heck, another one that I saw profile using was Honeybot, and that was a really cool tech, just because you can get the Honeybot. If your opponent gives you a zone, it's a lot better. You can put the Honeybot down, and you can start linking away to the zones that it points to, so that way it can't be destroyed very easily. So it's a pretty cool tech there, especially in combination with Fire Phoenix. You've got a good like damage combo there. But Update Jammer is one that I do recommend that you can try out, just because it is a link 2. It doesn't point downwards, that's the only issue. But if you want to transform your transcode into an OTK-ish machine, Update Jammer is just a simple tech that you can put in there just to give that to you. Additionally, you can use this effect on things like Dark Templar, just to give Dark Templar a bit more damage as well. So there's a lot of things that you can mess around and do with the update gemma. And one that I'm personally trying is the IP Masquerader. This is a very expensive tech, so I do apologize for that for the budget players. But if you have a Masquerader lying around in your collection or in a deck that you're not using and you're playing Ignisters, I do recommend trying it out. It's a very powerful tech. Depending on your other options as well, it just get a lot better. It's a really cool link too that you can go into. It just gives your deck a lot more protection.